Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Actuarial, and this video is related to the contract boundary part 2. In fact, I have recorded part 1, but it's been some time, so I'll just revise a bit of part 1 and also then go to the part 2, which is like today we'll finish the concept of contract boundary, and after the end of this video, contract boundary, which is a very difficult concept where many people who are working for a long time, who are very senior in the industry, do not understand what is contract boundary. So I hope after watching this video that that issue would be resolved. And also I would also like to thank the subscriber, because we are reaching towards that 1,000 subscriber mark. When I started this channel, my sole purpose was to kind of distribute knowledge, because when I was hiring in my corporate experience, I was getting very poor actuaries, which has further the quality of actuaries has gone down considerably from then. Even after I started, because not many people are kind of interested in learning this, and that you can see in the videos. If I post a video about exam, how to crack exam, there would be multiple videos. If I post a video about salary, there will be multiple videos, right? The problem is, whenever I post a video related to the real concept by which you can go to that salary part, or by which you can grow, people are not interested, because they are only interested in clearing exam. And that is how our education system, our mindset is. Our teacher will ask kitne percentage aa gaye beta, our parents will ask kitne paper clear ho gaye. तो problem वहीं पे है, we can't help that. Anyways, that's the mindset, especially if you are an Indian. That would probably would be the mindset, and there is no harm in it, because there is too much of population. We are already in a very competitive society, so there is, we have to be ahead of others. But this is the way you would be actually ahead of others. If you understand the concept, if you just clear exam, there would be 4 5 years down the line, qualified actually qualification would be required to be hired as an actuary, because the supply is increasing to that level, because anybody is becoming actuary these days. So and you probably have already seen that, right? So your conceptual clarity will matter. And also in future, I believe that actuaries would get contractual job, and because of that, only those who have that ability, who can deliver, would get the job. Those who do not have that ability, like people working in many sectors, just run a model and they try to believe that they are actuaries. They are not, right? They are just maybe technical interns. They are not even technical people. So you might think that this is a very harsh language that I'm using, but that's the reality. Reality is always slightly darker than how it is present out. Anyways, moving on. Contract boundary. So what is contract boundary, by the way? uh, just a reminder that if you have not followed us in LinkedIn, Blue Dragon Universe page, please follow that instead of messaging me personally, because I am on a temporary LinkedIn break for 1 year. 1 year is a long time. So instead of messaging me, if you have any question related to our courses and everything, please message the Blue Dragon Universe page, because a team would be there. They would be able to help you, support you, right? And even if I am not, like maybe in future, suppose I am not here, right, I'm dead and someone else is running the company, so that is the right way to follow the approach. You have to build a corporate structure, and you have to kind of follow that process, right? This is my own channel. This is, although I mean the company is named after me, so that's why it's Blue Dragon, but this is my own channel. This has no relation with the company as such. So that's why this is a separate entity, right? But I mean, please follow that, right? And any course or anything you have any question, right, follow that, and follow that page, message in that page, right? And that will help you. Okay, moving on. So what is contract boundary? This was the definition. Contract boundary is a point which means the company can terminate a contract, refuse premium, or stop paying claims, right? So the company has the ability to do the same. That is what is contract boundary. So we can I mean, the main crux of this is company can terminate contract, right? The company has the authority to terminate a contract, right? So, I mean, as I kind of keep on mentioning, these are very technical definition. So you just need to understand contract boundary means a point where company can terminate a contract, and usually contract boundary will be same as the term, because when the term or the duration of a contract expires, the contract by default expires, right? So for example, if you have purchased endowment product, and that endowment product is of 15 years of duration, then if the duration is over, right? So then the contract expires. That is usually the contract boundary. The typical cases arises, right, when there is something called alteration of contract. Alteration of contract, I have already made a video, kind of similar video on that, right? And you can check that out. Alteration of contract in this channel. You can go down and search these videos. I think if you, whenever you have some free time, we have made so many videos in this channel which are so knowledgeable. The knowledge that is not present in the book, if you go through those videos, right, your knowledge will improve drastically. You will ask questions to yourself, and that will further increase your knowledge, right? So take that step. If you are just bound by exam, then sooner or later you are going to get unemployed, because actually is also going the engineers and the MBA way. So you are also going to get unemployed. Qualification would be a must for getting an internship role, and that reality is happening. That is going to happen in next, couple of 5 6 years, especially with the way the AI is kind of catching up to the human intelligence. So that is going to happen. And if you are not, smart enough, if you still believe that the old education system will work in the new one, you are in for a rude shock and rude awakening. Moving on. So when can an insurer terminate a contract? As I mentioned, that is at the end of the term, which is usually the endowment, like the example that I gave, after paying claims, right, or not paying claims because of wrong proposal forms, if underwriting is allowed for extension of term. So this is the alteration, right? And if you remember the previous video of the contract boundary one, there I mentioned, or there I gave two example, which is like this. Uh, this is the example. So a term product where one can increase the term without any medical underwriting, right? And the term product where a term can be increased subject to medical underwriting. Two types of, product. And the definition, or what I tried to convey in the last video or the part one video, is when you are pricing a product, you have to consider all the risk that is present in the product, right? So when you are pricing a product, you are projecting it for certain duration, then you are discounting it, and that's how you are getting that NPV and everything, right? The VNB, NPV, whatever you call it. So you get that, and then that is your profit, right? So you need to kind of project to see what is your profit level, because in life insurance you are providing service for a long duration. Until unless that duration is over, you cannot understand what is your real profit, right? That's why in life insurance there is a always a comparison between what is expected and what is actual, which is not required for a different company. Say like my example of chocolate company, you sell a product, the service is over, right? Or the product is like, that product belongs to the customer now. But in life insurance, you sell a product and the person can die at any point of time, right? So the service continues. It is not over. In fact, only when the person dies you will realize whether you make profit or loss, right? Or the term of the contract expires. So that is why life insurance business, or any insurance business, is a typical sort of business which cannot be compared with other business. That's why risk management is very, very important, right? So so in considering the premium, and actually has to consider all the risk that is present in the premium. So in doing that, in projecting the premium or in considering the risk, whatever uh, whatever risk the actuary can consider, right? What is the holistic picture of that risk? So that presents your contract boundary. So if the actuary thinks that this risk is also present, that risk is also present, and this risk is also present, and maybe the risk, third risk, or risk C, say let us call it risk C. So risk C is arising at 15th year. So you have to calculate that or consider that in a premium calculation. So whatever cash flows you are considering in your premium calculation, that consists of your contract boundary. If this is not clear right now, the example that we are just going to see will make it clear. And this is the two cases that we are going to discuss, right? So in the case one, contract boundary is 15 years. So this is the case where the term product can be increased, the term of the term product, right? So there are two terms, so don't get confused. Term means the duration here, right? And the term is also the nature of the product. Because of the nature of the product is related to duration, it is called term product. So I hope that you understand that, right? So contract boundary of this product where no medical underwriting is possible, that is 15 years, right? But the contract boundary of this product for medical underwriting is possible, right? Subject to extension, that is 5 years. right? So that is also that is, so the contract boundary of the first one is 15 years, and the contract boundary of second one where medical underwriting is possible is 10 years. Now we have to understand why that is the case. So once again I like to repeat, maybe this is the part one, like this consider the the summary of the part one. So contract boundary is something that is set at the point of sale or t equal to 0, right? Why it is set at the point of sale? Because you have to calculate the premium at that point. While calculating premium, you have to consider all the risk that is present in the product, right? Because your premium should reflect that risk, right? So in doing that, you have to consider all the risk. Some risk may not be that evident at the initial level or the initial duration. That risk may only arise at a later duration. But in considering the premium, you also have to consider that risk, right? So if somehow the risk can be mitigated or can be assessed at a later date, then you need not consider that risk in the premium calculation, right? But if there is no such ability of an actuary to kind of assess that risk at a later stage, then that risk also has to be considered at the point of sale. And that's why contract boundary is sold, or is the concept of contract boundary is captured at the point of sale, right, when a policy is issued. So that is the concept of contract boundary. I hope you can understand and recollect up to this point. Now moving on. First is case one, a term product where one can increase the term without medical underwriting, right? So here, medical underwriting is not possible. That is up to the policyholder. The option is up to the policyholder. It's completely his or her choice. If he wants or if she wants, she can increase her, term, but the insurer cannot object to that, right? So in this case, the contract boundary, as I mentioned, is 15 years. The question is why, right? The contract boundary is 15 years, and that's why this t equal to 0 is important, because it is always arising at the point of sale, right? So and this is also where the term is, you can say the term is 10 years, because initially the policyholder will think that the term is of 10 years, because after 10 years he again has to avail the option of increasing the kind of contract, otherwise the contract will terminate there, right? So it's up to the policyholder. So the term is of 10 years, but contract boundary is of 15 years. Now why? This, in this case, underwriting is not allowed. This means you cannot reprice the product, because you are not reassessing the risk at that point of time when the second contract is taken or when the contract is renewed. So you cannot reassess the risk at that point of time, because obviously after 10 years your health will deteriorate. There might be several other things, right? You might have some physical challenges, but because of this rule that there is no underwriting possible, you cannot reassess the risk at that point of time. So because of that, repricing is not allowed. So what will this increase? This will increase the anti-selection risk, because underwriting is mainly to counter the anti-selection risk, right? And I hope you understand what is anti-selection risk. I also made a couple of videos, I think 2 videos or 3 videos, on why surrender is not allowed in a term product. So if you do not understand the anti-selection risk, high time that you go and watch those videos, like first, second, and third in that order. So there is anti-selection risk, because anti-selection risk cannot be assessed at that point of time, and this anti-selection risk is not arising at the point of sale. This anti-selection risk is arising at the point of renewal or the point of extension, right? So but because it cannot be reassessed at that point of time, right, it has to be considered at the start. So this means that then actuary has to consider the 15-year cash flow at the start, although the actuary would probably not know, or that contract might not be off for 15 years, because the policyholder might terminate the contract even before 15 years. The policyholder might not be interested in that extension, but because there is a risk which is incident at the 10th year, end of the 10th year, and there is no way to assess that risk, the actuary has to consider that risk even at the at t equal to 0, that is at the time of pricing the product. And because of that anti-selection risk, the contract boundary here is 15 years, because you are considering the cash flow of 15 years. And obviously, because you cannot reassess that risk at that point of time, the pricing of this product will be higher, right, as compared to a normal product, because you don't know whether the person is a liability to you or the person is not a liability to you, whether the person has good health or the person is in bad health. You do not have any idea of that, because medical underwriting is not allowed, right? So I hope this case is clear why it is 15 years. Now what you can, if this is clear, automatically you can understand why maybe the contract boundary of the other contract, right, this one where the product is subject to medical underwriting, is 10 years, and then it get extended by 5 years. Here underwriting can be done again. If underwriting can be done again, then repricing can also be done again, right? I just missed the double quote, so please understand that I missed the double quote twice, right? Anyways, so therefore there is less anti-selection risk, right? Because underwriting can be done again, so actuaries will price this product for 10 years, because if that thing happens at that point of time, that means that if the renewal happens at the end of the 10 years, then actuary still has the ability to price that product, or underwriting team still has the ability to kind of reassess the risk, and at that point of time the price can be determined. The underwriting team can even reject the product, saying that this is a substandard risk, I'm not going to sell the product or not going to extend. That is what we meant by the company can terminate the contract, or the company can stop paying the claim, right? So that is how the proper technical definition can be related here. I hope you understand the point, right? So actuaries will price this product for 10 years at one go, as the company can even reject the product at the end of 10 years, right? So there are two pricing or 2 points of time when pricing is happening. Initially at t equal to 0, when the product is just issued, and at the second point of time when the product is renewed or getting extended, right? So because of that, when the product is issued for the first time, the actuary is not bothered about this remaining 5 years, because the policyholder may not want to increase. Also the company has the ability to kind of not give the extension. So that's why the company or the actuaries are kind of pricing this product at much lower rate, right? Because the anti-selection risk is not there, which was present earlier. So this anti-selection risk is not there, so that anti-selection risk has is not required to be considered in the premium initially. So that's why the contract boundaries of 10 years. But if the policyholder opts for extension, and then if the policyholder gets that extension, obviously the premium at that point of time will be higher than the premium that the policyholder is paying at initially, right? And then the contract will be considered as a new contract, right? And then the contract boundary again be 5 years, right? So in this case, the contract boundary initially would be 10 years. And then when the contract boundary is, kind of, or the product is reissued, the contract boundary would become 5 years, right? So I hope the contract boundary, which was a difficult concept, is explained to you in easy words, and you can understand it, right? And contract boundary and term are usually same. Term and contract boundary are usually same unless there is an alteration. Alteration means you're basically kind of modifying the product to issue a new product, right? So that is alteration. That's the ideal definition of alteration. Although we are calling it alteration, it's actually equivalent to having a new product, and that's how it is also defined. Like, your product should have enough capability, like the whatever cash flow your product is having, that should be enough to kind of go through with that alteration. That is the basic actual definition. Like, you can say that EPB of the product at that point of time at t equal to whatever, right, should be the EPB of the product that you are going to produce at that point of time. So that's how you kind of calculate the alteration or price. And if you have purchased my or our SP2 course, then you have probably already understood what is alteration, and I doubt any other person can do that. So, or explain that this clearly to you, because most don't understand it. Anyways, so I hope this video is clear to you. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please share this channel with your friends, right? And if you have any question or answer, you can write that in the uh, comment section. I don't remember the name of the person, but when I asked this question initially, like this case 1 and case 2, and what is the reason, someone already has given the answer, right? And if you see the comment section, you can see that comment section, someone already has given the answer, and he was right. So I believe that yeah, if you have any question, anything to comment, please write that in the comment section. Not in my LinkedIn profile, because in any case I'm not going to reply on that for the next 1 year. So comment on this YouTube channel, the comment section. If you have any other question related to courses, anything, go and visit the Blue Dragon Universe page, right? If you want to join our WhatsApp group, then also the link is there in the description. So there are n number of ways you can connect with me, not only through LinkedIn but through other channel as well. So use those channel, right? And please like the Blue Dragon Universe LinkedIn page, because we have a lot of interesting and beautiful things planned, and we are also at the last leg of administrative kind of jugglery, and I hope the course would be kind of uh, coming very soon, especially from Valentine Day. That's how we are going to mark probably our our Valentine, right? So I hope you are enjoying this channel, and yeah, see you in future videos.